And like that, the hit of a button on Facebook and YouTube. This is absolutely remarkable. Each week, we continue to use more and more software, more and more toys. I don't know if many of you could tell, I'm somewhat of a technologist, and I love to geek out with the neatest and the coolest stuff. And all this stuff is really moderately priced, simple, 25 bucks a weekend or $25 rather a month. And you have access to broadcasting software, which to me is absolutely remarkable. You get these fancy little things down here like my name and how many people are watching and the lives and what's happening here in the studio. We can even throw up a couple of banners, just letting you know where to go, like holistichealthscience.com, or we can even throw a little something down underneath, like there's a scrolling news feed, like it just pulls your eye. I'm not even going to leave it up there because I want to read it. Holistic Health Science. I'm just kidding. And the Vibro. Oh yeah. We'll pull that off and we'll pull this out also. I've got something pretty special for you. This is the site that you want to write down. This is the site that you're definitely going to want to have as I bring on a brother, a friend, a business partner, a colleague, a fellow wizard, and somebody that just lights me up physically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically is actually probably the most important way. His jewelry is a mainstay in my everyday, and he's just one of these amazing human beings that is. I'm just going to bring him on. Let me just pull him on. Here he is, Mr. Halo Marques. And let me tell you, Halo.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Dude,
I love
so
you.
much.
All right.
So much.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and confine our conversation to 30 minutes. I don't know that we've done this before, but just in the interest of time, maybe we'll have to come back for a part two.
Cool.
We met at the Sedona Yoga Festival a year and now a few months ago. They didn't have it this year with all the COVID stuff going on. And I got to experience this amazing jewelry, which I definitely want you to share a little bit about the backstory and how you created that. And and who knows? Let's see where the conversation goes, because I know you've got a number of new projects that I want to make sure we talk about. I know I want to talk a little bit and hint towards a little bit of what we're collaborating on and talking about doing with the Sound Lounge and the cushion. So I don't know, we got a bunch to do, but why don't we start first with tell us a little bit about your background and Mystech and your love for frequency and the alchemy behind it.
Sure. So background, man, I went to like 8 different high schools. I was all over the place. So the one thing that I saw everywhere was everything's different depending on your environment, right? The same main baseline values seem to be the same, but the approach and actionality of it is different. So at a young age, I got to see the impact of what the environment really does. And my mother was an RN growing up, so I had the really bad ADD and all that fun stuff. They say, ADHD, the attention dimensions.
Didn't we all get diagnosed with that?
Right, of course. And so I can remember at night, she's a single mom, that me and my brothers would literally like read through her nursing books as to be able to talk to her about what she was dealing with at work, just because we, not a lot of the options back then.
Sure.
And even back then, we were introduced to Eastern and holistic type medicines versus what she was seeing there. And so at a young age, I didn't have a very enclosed version of what was the only acceptable ways of healing or talking or anything. So I got exposed to that really early on. We'll fast forward to about 12 years ago, give or take. And I came across a company that was working on this type of technology already. They were farther along than anyone I had expected to be with this type of technology, using a type of modified MRI machine. And essentially, as long as we have a solid structure, we can imprint it just depending on a couple different calibrations. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Let's unmute the microphone.
Oh, there we go.
Man, with all sorts of magic over here.
Yeah.
So talk about that for a second, because look, the jewelry is basically imprinted with a specific frequency.
Yeah.
Any frequency, for that matter.
Yeah, we can do any frequency, but it's like sorry if I'm quick. There we go. Bam. So the human body, and there's lots of other research that's out there. So I'm very much one of the main places I stayed was Missouri, which is the show me state. So I'm very much anything I say, please do all your research, try to prove it wrong as much as you can. In a decade of me doing this, every company that's tried to actually disprove it, that actually knows methods, ends up just reproving it for us. It's been the most amazing.
I've seen a bunch of those actually. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. But so your body is supposed to be at 7.83 hertz, which is the Earth's natural normal frequency that comes from lightning strikes. That's the baseline of everything, right? So now that we've got all these different electronics and Wi-Fi's and all these things, these all create very toxic frequency environments for not just the human body, for all life in general. So at the beginning, I was talking about having these. That's interesting. Green's a little different. Interesting. Fix this pretty gas. That's cool. No worries. That'll be all right. Anyways,
keep it narrow.
But I ain't worried. Focus. But so when you see these things, environment at a younger age, and go, man, so all of these things of environment have an impact on the health, right? So when you find out about what electromagnetic fields are, which is also another interesting thing. A lot of times when you say EMF, people go electromagnetic frequencies. And that's not that it's not correct, but if you're talking to a physicist, they'll literally go, what do you, like, that's not. So again, when we're talking to people about these things, it's very, very quick to be able to identify that people actually know and understand what the science is, which is, I think, one of the reasons we hit it off so quickly. And because of my prior experience almost to a sound booth that just didn't feel right. So it was just, again, pushing me in your direction, which I've been so thankful for.
Magic of it all.
Oh, dude, amazing. And so it's not necessarily about aligning the chakras or necessarily anything even to do with the energy body and a lot of other fields they talk about. This is purely making your electric system work correctly. So we can do a number of different frequencies, and we do offer a large amount, I'd like to say. And they all resonate with different parts of the being. So fortunately, the way everything lines up is math and is very harmonic. So you can't really have incorrect combinations. You can't have one that's going to override a different version of anything, because everything is, again, very harmonious in the way that it's affecting different parts of the being, if that makes sense.
It does, right? So let's talk about that, because I actually give a talk. In fact, I was giving it at the Sedona Yoga Festival called The Science of Mindfulness, where we talk about bringing your body back in harmonic resonance. I love that you said, look, this has nothing to do with the energy body. That's a thing, but that's not what this is about. It's about your physical body and the electrical system and getting it to run more efficiently, more effectively, because of all of these amazing devices that are constantly pulling us out of harmonic resonance. And it's not to say, I always say, look, it's not that I say don't use them. Use them if you want to use them. I do. I'm surrounded by it right now. I sit in front of it on my little field here, iPad, MacBook, screen, lights. The deal is bring yourself back into balance. And I wear one of your bracelets every single day. I've got 2 necklaces that are on the way, and I'm literally going to every single day.
I cannot wait for you to get these necklaces, man. I'm so, and we can get into it, but I had 2 other people get theirs yesterday and immediately sent messages.
My parents got them yesterday. They were thrilled. They were, thank you. This is so great. My mom's like, I feel great. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I already feel energized. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're walking a little fast. They were on their evening walk.
Yeah.
We'll see how they do today, but
find out how they slept. That's always another very interesting thing. The first 2 to 3 nights, some people feel a little more restless than usual because their body has all this normal connectivity that it's not used to. But if you don't take it off, you wake up and oddly feel like you're going to run a marathon, but you didn't sleep. It's one of the most fun conversations I could have with new people.
I told them, I asked them to sleep with it on, so I hope they did.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Anyhow, we'll talk about that necklace in a second, because I think it's a blend of some beautiful. Right now, we're talking about the human resonance.
Yeah.
We're talking about what it means to keep your body in balance. So talk about the biofield just for a moment, and if you can, talk about how simply wearing a bracelet that's charged, kind of not necessarily how it works, but why it works, and keeping this within your energy field and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. So the best way I found to be able to kind of answer that is to first make sure everyone understands what it's actually doing. So I think enough people can remember cell phones and radios before we had MP3 everything, right? Mm-hmm. And so anyone can remember driving in the car and then getting that cell phone call, what happens to the music you're listening to? It gets kind of staticky and until you answer, right? Well, all that is a normally crystal clear signal that's now being interfered with by a strong electromagnetic field that your cell phone's now detecting from the call coming in, right? And if you remember correctly, you can still make the song out. It just kind of sounds like crap. Yep. And that's kind of how 80 to 90% of people on the planet right now, that's how their body's functioning, to where they think they're good and they feel great, but they have no idea that there's all this static going on because it's always been there. Right. This is the real reason when people go camping and hiking, that's why they really feel better. It's less about the fresh air and more about getting out of this electromagnetic pollution where your body is able to go back to its normal state. Right. So what we're doing is we're actually healing or improving a single thing. That's the most beautiful thing of this. And I love it so much because it's self-empowering for people. All this is doing is removing the electric pollution. It's just turning the cell phone off that's messing up that radio signal. And now the song becomes crystal clear again and you can hear the music. And so this is why all the experiences with this are really profound, and they're always very individualistic because each person has so many different levels of what's been like released in their being. Sure. And so again, to kind of help it make sense and what it's really doing, if you can imagine all these like energy channels going through the body, or if you want to visualize like the circulatory system, right? Well, when you move your hands, when you blink, when you stub your toe, when you get pain, those are all electric signals that are running through your system, but at a quantum level, they're running at a molecular level, right? So what all these different electromagnetic fields do is they confuse the way your protons are spinning. And so some are going this way, some are going that way, some are going this way. And so when that electric signal is trying to go from your foot to your brain, it's having to go through all those different directions, still very, very fast because it's electric. But it still creates like a bog down in the system, like a level of stagnance that shouldn't normally be there. What this frequency does is it pulls all your protons in the same direction because that's the frequency that they want to be at. It resonates at that frequency. It's like singing your favorite song while you're listening to it. You just sing it better because you're resonating with what it's supposed to be like. So it just makes all your channels go correct. So your signals now go way faster. So your pain goes down because the signal's being able to travel at a faster speed. So it's not there as long. Also, because it's traveling faster, it's more isolated to the actual spot that it's at. You know, imagine if you stub your toe and your whole foot is completely jacked up, which should only be, you know, a half an inch of pain, feels like an entire foot because it's going through that many different channels trying to work its way up to the brain.
Cleaning those signals and allowing your body to be more efficient, more effective at doing what it was originally designed to do in the first place.
That's it. We're just defragging the human body, essentially.
So how does it, so talk for a moment about wearing jewelry, wearing the necklaces. I mean, I know how much jewelry you're wearing and I know how much of it has been through your amazing machine. And frankly, if I had this incredible machine, I would probably do the very same thing. Yeah. So talk about just the field, the biofield itself and having a presence connected and on and around it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, you know, at the very beginning, I was talking about how this was more working on your physical electric body, not so much your energy body, right? But anyone that's taken the time to research this knows that these two things mirror each other, right? So imagine because of and I'm not saying this was intentional, but just hypothetically imagine that if your physical being was purposely thrown out of whack in a way that you wouldn't even notice, but because of it not working correctly, you're disconnected from access to that energy body, right? So if you think of a lot of like sacred sites that people go to, there's no electronics around here. And so when you get into these places of those resonance of those fields that we're talking about right now, whether it's from geometric, whether it's from the crystal layout, you know, there's a number of different ways to create all sorts of different types of fields, not just magnetic, right? But the human body has its own biofield. And so if you study things like Reiki, right, you go through 3 different levels to get to your mastery. And what they'll explain to you is most regular people that are not all the way in tune, whether it's diet, it's emotional content, whatever it might be, their biofield or energy body is about skin level. That's about it. Through Reiki level 1, it goes out to about maybe an inch, right? Reiki level 2, maybe about 3 or 4 inches. But when you get to that master level, you get a couple feet out, and real masters can extend even beyond that. But again, if your physical being is not like conductive and aligned in the correct way, you don't have access to that. So this is just putting everything in complete harmony so your body has the ability to detect all these fields that are around, right? And we just, And just I have it right here, and it's yelling at me right now, so I feel like it's a divine timing. You know the lamps that I talked about that we're launching, right?
Yeah, let's see it.
I'm just going to do the green screen, but so this acrylic has been imprinted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just holding this, as soon as I move this in front of me, it's close enough that you get like pressure on your chest.
Mm.
So we've been sending these lamps out to people, and I've been trying to email people and reach out and follow up. But if you put your hand very close to it, you can actually feel like a very condensed version of the Schumann field. And as you get farther away, you can feel it like become less.
Because it's imprinted at 7.83 hertz.
Exactly. The entire thing is. So these are making 8 to 10 foot fields of Schumann resonance in the room. And if you take the acrylic piece out, you can put the light directly on like shoulder, elbow pain, whatever, and it makes the pain go away on the spot. Mm. So we just got 400 flashlights run through because I figured this out on accident. And I was like, you know what? We shouldn't make it this complicated. Why don't we just get a bunch of metallic flashlights and imprint them to all the different frequencies, and there you go.
Think of like a lighthouse bulb that's been imprinted. That's just constantly spinning around, or at every airport, if those lights, which are doing the same thing anyway, was just imprinting the neighborhood around.
Right. We didn't look. So look, I don't mean to jump ahead, but just because you mentioned it, we might as well just keep it going. Like you said, we in the flow. So this acrylic
Everybody loves this, by the way. The comments just pour in.
You guys are awesome. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free. Like load
up the questions. I'm monitoring the chats on YouTube and Facebook, so please.
Awesome. So here's what's really cool. What again, we figure some things out on accident as we go, or maybe it was just all divine timing and lands on our lap. I don't know. But that acrylic plate that's on that lamp, that's imprinted to the Schumann resonance as well as the lamp itself. So here's a very cool thing. If you hold that piece of acrylic up to glass and if there's enough sunlight to come through, that will flood the room with Schumann resonance. Mm. So we're currently getting a bunch of new type of window tint, very specific, that we're going to be able to imprint and be able to imagine putting this over your windows in your house and filling your room, getting rid of all your EMF. We have tests that you guys can even do to be able to see these things. But with the lighthouse idea, I'm talking about cutting out these little tints and putting them over the headlights of everyone's cars.
Yes.
And just driving around, boom, all day. Schumann for you. You need this.
So just think of the fabric of our world, the fractal fragment of our world, and what happens to light through a pyramid or through a prism as it refracts. Start to think about.
Yeah. And it's funny, man, because look, we're talking about being light workers. Like, what better to use than actual light? Like, it just makes so much sense on a multitude of levels. And then so, we'll get to these other frequencies, but when we do, we're going to come back to this light thing, because this is like potentially.
So I just keep seeing in my feed on Facebook this unbelievably bright light. It's like, and I'm just thinking I need to buy a dozen of these things and send them to you. And the next time you roll it, I'm just gonna. I forget. I don't know. It's literally like this one girl is like in a backyard and she's lighting up an entire valley.
Yeah.
With this epic light. Esther says, what better to use than light itself, indeed. And she's pretty excited for window tint as well. Look, keep an eye on the Mystech website, because it just keeps getting better. And literally every time I'm on there, I'm texting Halo, hey, are these ready yet? Hey, you have any of these left is really the question. Do you have any of these left? Oh yeah, we're waiting for some more to come.
Yeah, man, we've been pretty lucky. Most of our people have been patient enough while the world's been going crazy, and our shipping times they were getting really good, and then this all happened, and but we've been really good, and we sent extra stuff out, and it's been really fun. But again, because I'm not the money business person, I'm looking for people that want to ignite the world and want to put these good things out. So I've honestly refunded like a few $1,000s in the last month of people that just emailed too much about updates and things. I'm like, look, I can't support this type of behavior.
I love it. You just got to be patient.
Sorry, like there's nothing else. If we could do anything different, we would. But saying every day like we don't have an update, like I apologize. I wish I could give good. And so I always have this idea.
Public service announcement here, speaking to you, but like, just be patient. We're working as fast as we can.
Yeah. But I always have this idea because I like to like, if it's a rule, it's a rule for everything. So mirror each other, right? So I want to find. I won't do it because I want to be professional, right? But since we're having a good time right now, I think it'd be hilarious to find one of the people that email me so many times and then just set up like a bot for every 15 minutes to send me. There's no update. There's just to make sure that it's okay.
Thank you
I
for
don't know
your
what else I can say.
We just don't have any updates yet.
Yeah, but I love you. I love you.
Look, it's a testament, I think, to the outpour and really the way that your operation is set up. I know your team. I know how you operate. I know you're coming from a place of love. You can feel that in every intention and everything that you make. Not to mention the research and development aspects of what you're doing. Each time we talk, you're like, hey, remember that thing we were talking about? Okay, cool. So now we're doing it this way. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
And even some of our conversation, hey, remember we were talking about that? Yeah, we took that and then we rolled that into this. And now it's just fun to watch the iterations and the development. So, 7.83 hertz, that makes a lot of sense. The Schumann resonance. I love how you explain it because not many people know that there is a resonant frequency for the planet Earth, or that it harmonizes with the human body in a way that's so amazingly synergistic. Let's talk about some of these other frequencies and some of the other aspects of what you've been exploring and what you've been doing. And let's touch on 5G. Let's touch on all the amazing things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. So, just because I have it on now and I haven't really shown anyone this yet, because I didn't know how soon it would be ready, and surprisingly, I was able to put together very quickly. So, for the pre-5G, right? So before COVID hit, before all these things, when they first started talking about 5G, 22 months ago, at least, before my engineer was finally listening to me enough about how worried we should be, because Mystech is mysticism and technology and being that bridge, because it's all the same stuff. Everything that's mystical and magical is just science we haven't figured out yet, and will continue to be that way, right? And it's interesting that certain words, even though they mean the exact same thing, because you say magic instead of energy, or you say electricity instead of energy, like these things contextually are all actually the same thing, but if you use a different paintbrush while explaining it, it freaks people out. So as we learn to adjust our verbiage, to meet the expectations of what these words mean to people, the mysticism shrinks very quickly and becomes more scientific in everything. But I'm still very practitioner of spirituality and believe all these, it's very, very important, but there's math to all of it. And that's the thing that I really try to impart on so many people. And I think that's what a lot of these frequencies give people the access to actually experience, because they don't know that it's just that simple, because it's supposed to be woo-woo or some scary stuff, or I don't know what that symbol means, or okay, but again, it's coming from a loving, healing, nurturing place, right? So the Schumann,
a lot of cynics out there, right? Everybody wants to find what's wrong with the situation instead of what's right. Everybody wants to focus on what you didn't do instead of what you did do. So
yeah, I pick on those people right back, because again, I don't care about the money, so it's really hard to argue with someone that's not trying to sell you. I just keep making fun of them until they leave, and usually they come back a few days later and apologize and go, "I did some research," and like, yeah, it's cool. I love you. Let's go. Let's get.
Go.
But so with these other frequencies, Schumann makes your electric system work correctly, right? But then all of your chakra points, the energy main meridians down the center of your being, if you're healthy, right? Your chakra points, those all resonate at different frequencies as well. But if your body is not aligned from Schumann already, then having these other frequencies is only going to be like 60 to 70% of what they're supposed to be doing, because they're not all connected correctly in the first place. So we launched it's actually in music, the solfeggio frequencies, but as it would, oddly enough be, the solfeggio frequencies match up perfectly with the chakra frequencies. So it's like there's some divine plan in the universe for music to line up. And so that's a very interesting thing. If anyone can remember before 2012 and before we switched into this other little timeline thing we're in, back in the day, 528 hertz used to be the heart chakra. I don't know if anyone remembers this or not, but if you look it up and look up 528, it's all green, and that's what it used to be. Well, right now, in this exact time, it's no longer 528 hertz. It's now 639 hertz, which used to be the throat chakra. So for any of the people that are out there that consider the Schumann resonance to be linked to consciousness, there's definitely a relatability for sure, but one does not really control the other to that degree the way that people think it does. Like if you fill your gas tank, that doesn't charge your battery, right? Oh, lost you.
What do you attribute the shift?
So I mean, are we going with the sciencey version, or are we going with the wizardy version? Because
let's play with each. Why not? I mean,
okay, so oddly enough, the scientific one is pretty close to the wizardy one. I don't know how many people know anything about CERN, right? And the Super Hadron Collider back in around 2012 when they said, no, don't do it. It's the end times. And if you look it up, it's weird. This picture's gone. I was trying to show someone this the other day, and I've not been able to find the exact one. But there used to be an image above CERN that when they turned this on, it actually made a perfect ring of clouds above it on a weather map for the first time in the history of the world. Right? And they were all worried about turning it on because some people were worried it was going to punch a hole through our dimension and blah, blah, blah. They didn't know. Right? Well, now we actually have more doppelgangers in the history of the world than we've ever had. There's websites you can go to and upload your face, and they'll find dozens of people that look like you. And what's really weird about this, I'll have to send you the link so you can see this and post it.
I would love to do that.
Dude, listen to this. This is so crazy. There's a group of 36 women that all look completely identical, that all share less than 3% matching DNA. And so for our understanding of how science and the genetics work, that shouldn't make any sense.
No.
Right? Now, on the other hand, if the scientists are worried about punching a hole and creating this dimensional collapse, if that was potentially a real thing, we could be in all these different timelines all happening at the exact same time. Like, I'm telling you, when I grew up as a kid, dude, this is a weird thing. I was thinking about this the other day. You know the Egyptian god Thoth? When I was a kid, never heard of him, was not in a single Egyptian anything when I was a kid. Never even heard of him. But now you've got these other, Mandela effect. There's just a lot of weird stuff out there, man. I don't, you know what it all is.
Sure.
But so that's the scientific answer as well.
All right. What's the wizardry answer?
That's absolutely, definitely what has happened. And here's what it goes farther than that, though, because right now we've seen fires, we've seen killer hornets, we've seen so many different versions of the end of the world. So again, the wizardy version would be if we're in this little condensed version of all these timelines that are all coming to an end or to their reset, it would look like a bunch of different versions of the world coming to an end. But it's just all these shared little timelines that are all joint from what happened with friends. That's it.
Interesting. So these different frequencies, you could wear jewelry, any type of crystalline structure, expose yourself to light, anything that's within that frequency range, get on a sound lounge, whatever it might be, and you could imprint or bring yourself back into that field.
Exactly. And so that's the new necklace that I just sent. So we were doing anti-cancer research around the same time that we started working on the 5G stuff. And it was weird because we came to two very specific frequencies, 111 hertz for cell stabilization and 174 hertz for more pain management, right? Like the Schumann will help with your pain signals, but it's doing the whole system. It's not pain specific like the 174 is. Well, when we started doing our pre-5G technology, which is what I have on now, and I'll show you guys in a sec, our initial understanding of what 5G was going to do was it was going to be such a dense version of a field that it'd be blocking out parts of the UV spectrum, and that it was going to be attacking the immune system in ways that we've not seen before. So we didn't want to come out, and I don't like the whole scare tactic, all these, like I've had so many companies try to get us to, sell masks and do this for 5G, and I'll keep it 100 all the time. If it costs us millions of dollars, that's fine, but at least people know what they're getting and what to expect.
Indeed.
Right?
I'm the same way. That's right.
So before, what we had were these bracelets, this one, right? And so the quartz is set to the Schumann resonance. We have a pyrite sent to 126.22, which is the frequency of the sun. And then 43.3 is the frequency of colloidal silver. So having all three of these on, you're getting the Schumann, you're getting the sun frequency, and then you're getting your immune system. So that was the best bet that we could come up with for our best understanding about 2 years ago. Right. I didn't want to launch it. I want to keep doing more research. And I was at E3, big gaming convention in LA, and they had the first prototype 5G towers up. And I'm telling you guys right now, I felt the field physically when I walked into it. Like I was on the phone with my wife, and I was like, whoa, hold on. I got to call you back. Something weird just happened. And I hung up and I put my hand out and I could feel it. And I walked right over to this little tower, and I probably sat for 20, 30 minutes watching people. And probably 1 out of every 8, 1 out of every 10 people, they didn't go look for it, but they had some little abrupt physical reaction.
Their experience. Sure.
So I was like, okay, let's launch the pre-5G. I don't know if this is going to be everything, but it's at least something for what I just felt. It just freaked me out.
Starting to pop up in cities all over the place. I know here in Las Vegas, all up and down Charleston Avenue, You've got 5G towers that are starting to pop up. You can see them on the light posts, and it's close proximity.
Yeah. Well, so that was, look, so for the pre-5G, this is what I literally just made this. I don't know how you guys will be able to see it, but so it's a little scale mail pendant.
Mm-hmm.
So the top one's gold, the middle one's silver, the bottom one's black. So these will be our new 5G pendants. And then we'll be releasing the 111 and 174 hertz really soon. Mm-hmm. And here's what, again, oddly enough, that was for the anti-cancer research, right? And we still haven't coined it, marketed it, but we talk to people like this all the time. And I've sent out to a number of people and give them the proper expectations. We don't want to overpromise anything. All the feedback's been great, and it continues to be so. So I don't know. At one point we'll put it out all the way that way, but again, we just want people to know.
Clinical. We were just talking about this at Holistic Health Science. Literally, I'm pulling together all of our visionaries so that we can start to do some clinical research. Won't be peer reviewed, but it will be conclusive. And what we're thinking is to start with PTSD and actually start to pull together, working with a very specific and well-known research institute, and then utilizing. We probably have at least 40 or so distributors and visionaries that are interested in participating. So if each one of them could put 10 people on the Sound Lounge through a regimented process in different parts of the country from different backgrounds, we can, 400 Sound Lounge sessions, and we can start to see some conclusive data come out of that. Oh, yeah. It'd be an interesting storyline to look at with your necklaces and starting to get into that research. I geek out on that aspect of it.
Well, dude, also, and we've talked about this before, and maybe it's time I sent you one of the aux cords, but that's another frequency that we do as well, baby. You know what I mean?
So look, the conversation that we've been having, and I love this part of it, because every time we talk, we pull around these different topics, and what we're talking about is actually imprinting the cables that we're using in our sound tables, in the cushion, in the Sound Lounge, and what would happen if we're imprinting 7.83 hertz or
432.
I'm sorry?
432.
Imprinting with a specific vibration and a specific frequency, and then all of the vibrations that are coming out will all be imprinted. Any part of the leg, any leg in the chain is imprinting. As long as the music is passing through there, then it's being imprinted.
Yeah,
it's just I can't.
And I'm telling you, the craziest thing is the 432 hertz frequency. During World War II, it was changed from 432 to 440, and so it takes all of the creativeness and the energy and intensity and really just the raw emotion that's in music. It literally just sucks it right out. That you don't even know it's missing. It still has a rhythm and it still has a beat, but the soul, the essence of the music gets pulled out when it gets converted to this 440 hertz. This is why live music is so much more impacted. So with our headphones or the aux cable, you can plug this in and it converts everything over, and it still sounds the same, but there's a new level of clarity and there's this resonance. I don't know if I've told so many people, so I apologize if you heard this, but we had a 32-year in the game, the hip hop game, for 32 years, hip hop producer that's got gold records, multi-platinum, the whole everything, that started crying in the middle of our booth when I had him listen to his own music with our headphones. And he was like, I thought I was a music expert and I don't understand what's happening right now. He came to my lecture the next day and took over my lecture freaking out.
I love it. Look, it's that attention to, it's that type of impact that we aim to have at Holistic Health Science. And we've seen it. There's a number of our distributors and our visionaries that are in the chat thread right now. Tim in Sedona, my clients have processed PTSD during Sound Lounge sessions for sure. Hope just asked a question, which I want to get to here in just a moment. Just diving down in a little bit more of the clarity. She wants to know a little bit more about the imprinting and how that works. If you could talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, sure. So it's pretty proprietary because we're the only company in the world I'm aware of that knows how to do this. And as weird as this sounds, I'll continue to say this way: I don't trust humans enough with the technology to share it with more people. So the investors we've had never even seen the machine. And we've said no to 1 million, and that's just it. So, but what I can tell you is it is based off of primarily, almost entirely off of Nikola Tesla's research. We have a very modified MRI machine, and depending on the material type, we have to calibrate it to a level of intensity and a time frame, which generally most minerals take about 16 hours. And then metals are a little bit more dense, so they're closer to like 22, 23. And then once they come out, they permanently hold this new frequency while retaining the original one. And they'll permanently have it unless you put it inside another MRI machine. And most people don't have access to that. But in the event you ever think it stops working, we offer a free lifetime warranty. So you can send it back and we'll send you a brand new one. And the decade that I've been doing this, I think I've had 6 pieces ever that once we ran it back through our little diffractometer that was actually dead. But other than that, like, no, it works.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's the best version of I can give as to how we do it.
It's absolutely amazing. So where can people go? And then, and I want to talk for a second about, what we're doing with the In Harmony meditation cushion. And then we'll close with sharing with people on how they can get to you and how we can maybe give them a little something as well. The In Harmony brand that we just spun off of Holistic Health Science is bringing to light the In Harmony meditation cushion, which I just realized is too dark. You can't see it. However, the prototype is sitting behind me. So I need to throw some more light into this world over here so that you can see it. But part of what we're going to be creating is a frequency apothecary. Part of what we're going to be creating is utilizing our digital delivery systems for frequency to your body and creating a field that you can lay in is different frequencies. 174 was just created. 852 is already done. We're working with some incredible musicians that are bringing this music where he's actually tuned all of his instruments, over 20 of his instruments that he's producing this music with, to that particular frequency. And what's being produced and what's being made, it's unbelievably emotional. It is raw and well made and finished, but it leaves you with this deep down resonance is really the only word of dropping into that particular field. And I just listened to 174. It's just a rough cut. It's only starting, but it is absolutely going to blow people's minds what we're coming out with and what this cushion is going to mean for the planet and what it's going to mean for portability of this particular technology. And I'm really excited about what those collaborations are going to look like and how we're going to be able to talk and connect with one another.
Dude, I love the cushion. I got a chance to use it. It was I don't remember which frequency I tried, but as you were talking right now, it reminded me, like, the visual I got of being on that thing was it kind of like it re-cemented some foundation of part of me that I didn't know wasn't as cemented as I thought it was. Like I definitely just felt empowered when I was done. Like I felt relaxed and calm, but it gave something back to me that I didn't know I didn't have before. So that was very cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, tell people where they can find you. I'll flash this beautiful website banner that I created in this incredible software.
Yeah. And, check it out, man. I'm still on Zoom. This seems pretty cool. I might have to check it out.
I love it. So this is mystech.net, and that's your website.
Yep, that's the one.
You can see it. It's up there.
It's
write this down. Take a look at it, and look, we sure appreciate it. Yeah.
If you go to YouTube, I'll get better at the videos. I'm so busy doing my mad scientist thing. I'm terrible at the marketing stuff. I got a good team that helps me with all of it. But if you look up Mystech Movement on YouTube, you can see like our live blood analysis where you can see us. It literally improves someone's blood in 4 hours. Testimonials left and right, and yeah. And please, and we also have a 30 money back guarantee. I'm very big on gnosis. I want people to have the experience. If for any reason, even if you just don't like the color, something happened, like please send it back. But it's like getting a new car for the first time. You don't know what type of thing you're driving around until you have something new and feeling good for the first time. So.
Well, I can certainly attest to the power and your genuineness to want to make sure that your customers are happy. You were very busy at the Sedona Yoga Festival. Maybe if people are interested in carrying your products, I know you do wholesale accounts. Yep. I know that you have your own fleet of distributors all over the country and the world. So reach out to them.
If you, for that, email me just halo@mystech.net. And what's so crazy with all the distributors, everything we have, in this time in the world right now, we just broke every single record that we've ever had in a decade, 3 months in a row. So of all the things to be doing right now, like this is healing, it's empowering, it's releasing people from so many things that they don't even know that's doing for them. And ultimately that's been our main goal. So take advantage of whatever you can. We just want to help in any way we can. So just reach out. We're here.
Halo, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. You're amazing. I hope you'll stick around. We can touch base right after the
Yeah, man. And thank you for everything you're doing, man. It's great to know there's other people out there with this approach and tackling stuff, man. It's great to see you.
I'll link in the comments actually to the podcast that we did now probably a year ago when we had originally gotten together. I wonder how much that conversation mirrors what we're talking about now and building on more conversations from there. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'll take a look. Lots of love, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you. See you.
All right, everybody. That is Halo and Mystech. Let me tell you, this is like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what his capabilities are, what his products do, and the potential influence that they can have on your body. This is why I love doing what I'm doing. This is why I absolutely love the community that we've built, the people that are around us, and the expertise that you can find hovering around our movement and what we're doing here. I truly believe we are attracting some of the most incredible humans on the planet. And I very much look forward to introducing you to another one. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m., we're live. So please come back and join us. Every Tuesday, we're live. We'll now be live on YouTube and we'll be live on Facebook. And I've put in an application so that we can be live on LinkedIn as well. So please join us. Please tell your friends. Share this video if you're watching the recording. Give us a comment to the left, to the right, wherever that might be. Let us know that you are interested in hearing more. If you do have questions, I also keep a very close eye on those comments throughout the week. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.